Welcome to Cook with Jake and Joy. It's our 8th season. It's so exciting, so exciting. We're so happy to be here, and this season is going to be awesome. We have a lot of new recipes that we think you're really going to like. Some of them are new to us, so I was
going to say, you're going to be learning along with us.
I hope we like them. We're going to start off with something sweet but still good for you. You know, all of our shows are vegan and gluten-free, but that doesn't mean that they have to not be delicious. You know, there are some people who cook vegan and gluten-free, and they kind of come from the aspect of, you know, you don't need to live to eat, you need to eat to live, and I don't buy into that.
So we want to make these recipes that you're actually going to really enjoy eating, so that you'll be more inclined to make some switches to your family's meals throughout the week.
Right, and no shade on people that do that. You know, we actually started out down the vegan path eating that way, but what I found was that I was so tempted to not stay on that diet because I didn't have delicious things. So we're going to show you a delicious dessert today that we saw someone else make.
Yep.
And we've kind of put a few little twists on it and made it our own.
Yep, it's a raw vegan berry chocolate tart.
So here's what you're going to need for this recipe. First of all, you need a springform pan. You're going to need a food processor and a blender, and then measuring cups, of course, and a measuring teaspoon. And don't forget the spatula. So we have a cup of raw nuts, and you can use any kind of nuts you like. You're going to need 2/3 of a cup of some kind of cacao powder. You can use the one that we use, or you can just get cacao powder. 3 tablespoons of coconut oil, 12 pitted dates, and that's for the base. Then, for the middle, you're going to need 2 cups of any type of frozen berry or cherry, a half of an avocado, or you can use 2/3 cup of cashews. I think we're going to use the cashews. Yeah. 4 tablespoons of shredded coconut, 4 tablespoons of maple syrup, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and then just add that to your other list, and then we'll whiz that all up and put it on top of the base. And then on the top, we're going to add more coconut oil, half a cup of that, half a cup of cacao powder, a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, and then we're going to whiz that together and put it all over the top. Right. And so that sounds really decadent, but every single piece of it that we're going to put into it there's something good for you in it. So we're going to start off with the base, and we're using a springform pan, and what this does is it pops out, so you don't have to worry about putting grease on the bottom. You don't have to worry about how am I going to get it out of the friggin' pan and how am I going to make it still be cute. Yep. So we're going to use that springform pan, and we're going to start with the base, and then we have to freeze that. So this is going to be kind of a multi-part thing. So let's get started.
Okay.
So we're going to start with adding everything just to the food processor. Yep. Super easy. And Derek, did you see my new food processor?
I'm a little bit bummed. I missed the old one.
Well, it's exactly the same model. I only had that one for
27 million years.
No, I had it since 2006, so 14 years. I finally bought a new one, and it's exactly the same model.
Well, you know what? I washed it last night. I intentionally warped it so that you don't have to struggle with it today.
Well, we're going to see how Jake does with it. She's got my old one, so we'll see. Yeah. So we're going to add cashews, and Jake, tell us about cashews.
Yeah, so we like to always give you some health benefits of the things that we're using, so you not only learn what to put in, but why you might put it in there. So a couple of things that cashews do: they reduce cholesterol, which is awesome, really awesome. Help to prevent heart disease, and this is really interesting. It actually can help with diabetes prevention and management.
And you can use any kind of nut in this. Yeah. Getting some nuts in your diet every day. Now, a handful is really about what's recommended if you're trying to watch your weight. Any more than that, you're going to kind of get into some trouble. But nuts are fabulous for providing fiber, which a lot of people struggle to get in their life.
And also good fats.
Yes. Absolutely.
So we're going to do a cup of cashews.
So good for brain health too. And then we're going to use 12 pitted dates, Derek.
What? I like the pits.
Now that you can get pitted dates, but they're usually a little more expensive.
And they're also, I find that they're more dried out. They're much more moist if you leave the pits in when you get. Every time I bought dates that are pitted, then the easiest way to do them, because sometimes people mangle them, you get them all sticky all over your hands, try to get the pit out. I take a little paring knife and just slit down the middle, and then open it up and pull the seed out.
You're still gonna get stuff.
You are, but at least you don't do them getting mushed everywhere.
And if the dates are not really soft, like these I just bought, so they're pretty soft. If they're not really soft, you want to make sure that you soak them. And also these little tops, you don't want those to go in either.
And also don't put them in the fridge because they'll get too hard. Yeah. Keep them out of the fridge.
So we're gonna add there's 12 pitted dates. Okay. Cool.
So don't put the pits in the blender.
No pits. No pits. And then we're going to add a chocolate powder that we like to use. Now, you could use cacao, and there's a lot of benefits to that, but we use a mix that we've been using for 26 years. And what we like about it is that it's a whole food. So there's like things like pumpkin seeds and spirulina and like things that are really, really good for you. So
yeah, it's going to add 15 more plants to this, and it's low glycemic, so it's going to help to keep those sugar levels balanced, even though we're eating a sweet, decadent thing.
Right.
It's going to help.
And cacao is good as well.
Yeah.
If you're going to use cacao instead of what we're using, one serving of this is about a third of a cup. So you'd want to put 2/3 of a cup of the cacao in if you're not using our powder.
Two of these in.
Yep.
It already looks good.
Yeah, it is. It's delicious. And the other thing that we're going to use is coconut oil. And coconut oil is something that Jake and I have been using for a long time to help prevent disease. And there's a lot of research on coconut oil, so if you want to look that up, go ahead. The other thing about dates that Jake didn't mention is that dates are great at...
I didn't mention anything about...
You didn't say anything about it?
I forgot.
You just talked about the pits part.
You need to eat more dates.
I know. So there's a bunch of health benefits to dates. Also lower cholesterol. They're rich in protein. They actually have B vitamins, which is really cool. So if you're not eating animal products, you can get some B vitamins from the dates. What?
Yeah, well, they also help your body produce more serotonin.
Okay.
And so a lot of people that are depressed take an antidepressant, but an antidepressant just has you use your serotonin back and forth. It doesn't actually have your body produce more serotonin. Mm-hmm. So this actually, using dates, using oats, avocados, spinach, those things actually make your body produce more serotonin.
And of course, it's whether it's a myth or non-myth that the dates help to induce labor. So if you're pregnant and you're watching this, good excuse to eat one of these tarts.
Yes.
And the last thing that I thought was really interesting, it actually, supposedly they help to reduce hangover symptoms.
Supposedly?
On a date.
On a date.
On a date.
Supposedly.
Okay, so let's add the last piece of the base. This is just the base, and we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of coconut oil.
It doesn't need to be melted?
No.
Okay.
No, because we're going to freeze it.
No, I know, but to get it mixed up, sometimes when you melt it, then it gets mixed up easier.
You didn't say.
We're going to find out.
Yeah. So we're kind of winging this. Jake watched this on Instagram, and now we are recreating it with the magic of video right here for you.
So we're going to see how it does.
Hey, get off of there. Okay.
Okay, is that good?
I love these tablespoons. It says a heap of love, and the little tiny one says a pinch of joy.
Yeah, it's heart-shaped.
And your name's Joy.
Then my name's Joy. Isn't that amazing? Okay, see how Jake does with this top. Now this has to actually be pushed down, and now this by the way is my favorite food processor of all time. You can buy more expensive ones, but this one.
Where's the top for it?
It's right here. This one is made by Hamilton Beach. I think it's like 60 or 70 bucks. And I bought my sister one for her wedding that was like 200, and it doesn't have the capacity. This is the biggest one that you can get. I believe it's a 10 cup. So if you're going to get one, make sure, and you want it to be this big. It also has a wide mouth, so you can put like whole things down the tube, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
So
I have a little mini food processor, and it's a pain in the ass.
You have this one.
I know, but the one I had was like a mini one. It's like you can hardly do anything in it.
I don't know if that's going to work. Let's see.
Uh-oh, you're already having problems with it. How do you know when it's done?
I don't know.
We don't know.
What is with this? This is. What goes here?
You guys need a boy to help you?
Shut up. Does it go? Oh, here. There's
There's little notches, but there's also. Shouldn't there be something that fits in the other thing?
one. Yeah. Okay, but we don't need to worry about it right now.
Okay.
All right.
Should we just try it?
So now we're gonna press it into the bottom of the pan to make the base.
Hopefully.
Layer.
Let's cross our fingers that this works. Okay, and you turn this way. Okay,
perfect.
All right, and we probably need a spatula.
Yep. Okay.
So it looks a little bit
dry. Might have needed to put more coconut oil in.
Well, let's just try. It's smashing down pretty well. I'll show you what this looks like in just a second. So I'm just using a spatula to press it, and I think this is going to be perfect.
Yeah, and we're gonna freeze it. You gotta eat it, cut it when it's frozen, so that'll help to keep it together too.
This pan is pretty big. I don't know if it's going to fit.
Yeah, it might be
in the freezer.
Might be a little. Oh.
No, there's plenty of stuff. And you haven't made this before.
No, I've just watched it, and she didn't really even give instructions. She just gave ingredients. So We're making it up.
You're the instruction.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Really? She didn't make it?
She showed like little pieces, like little bits, like little sections of how she made it.
Interesting.
Because what she said, she said that she doesn't really, not really a cook. She doesn't really cook a lot. And so
Well, this isn't cooking.
Well, I know, but she doesn't like.
This is blending.
She said, "Oh, it's a miracle. I'm in the kitchen."
Oh, cool. Okay, here we go. So see how we did this? So it's flat in the pan. And I've made things like this before, like out of, with different nuts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Let's put it in the kitchen, then we'll come.
In the kitchen?
In the kitchen. Let's put it in the fridge, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
And in the magic of TV, YouTube land, it's frozen already. So let's make the middle. The middle's pretty easy. We're going to use 2 cups of raspberries. You can use cherries. You can use whatever kind of berry you want.
You can do a mixture.
And berries are so high in antioxidants that if you've been following us for a while, you know that we always used Joel Fuhrman's idea of G-bombs, which is greens, berries, onion, mushroom, beans, and sprouts, seeds.
And we said we wanted to add A. We said we wanted to add a G-bomb for avocado.
G-bombs, yeah, for avocado, because we think that's really important. And then in this recipe, you can use either an avocado, a half an avocado, or 2/3 of a cup of cashews. Yeah. We're going with cashews because I've had things that are like desserty with avocado, and I'm not a fan. I love avocado. I love avocados and I love sweets. I don't like them mixed together.
Yeah.
And then coconut.
Half a cup.
And then we're going to do more coconut oil. And tell us about coconut oil, because this recipe has a lot of coconut oil.
Yeah, it's a lot. It has a lot.
This is going to be 1 tablespoon, but tell us about coconut oil. I put it in.
Boost the good cholesterol. It's good for balancing your sugar levels and managing diabetes. Fights against Alzheimer's, which is awesome. Aids with digestion and is a good energy boost. So I always think of coconut oil as being an energy boost, giving it a little.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
This is gonna be good. And so it's gonna be this is a high fat.
Yeah, we didn't get all the cashews in there. What are you doing here? Jeez.
Those are for me for later.
Yeah.
Okay, and then 4 tablespoons of maple syrup.
Yeah. And you know what I often let me try. It's probably sugared together. Oh, that's not coming off. We're gonna have to soak it under hot water.
You think so?
Yeah.
Do you need a boy to help you with that?
Shut up.
We might.
That's the second time I've had to say this recipe.
So this recipe calls for maple syrup. Oftentimes when the recipe calls for maple syrup, I usually do half what they recommend because otherwise it's too sweet. I think we should do what's called for. But
since you've never made
it, and then we can see if you can get away with half. I think it's always better. I also sometimes will sub out more dates instead of maple syrup. So if you wanted to do no added sweetener, you could do more dates instead.
And some people don't like really sweet desserts.
Right.
I don't like super sweet desserts. Like the thing you got from Starbucks, I didn't like at all.
I usually do half the amount or swap it out for dates.
Can we talk about what you just did with the sink there, the faucet? What's that trick?
No, that trick is getting the sugar to melt off of the cap. Yes. Okay, great.
Sealed it.
So I should probably rinse this off before I put it away next time, right? Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to blend that all together in our fancy food processor. You got to have this clip down. Let's tamp that down a little bit. It's really pretty.
It looks really pretty.
I've never made something with raspberries as a filling. I just eat them.
Yeah, that would be the one thing about using avocados. You wouldn't end up with cashew chunks. It'd be smoother.
Right, but it would be green also.
That's true.
It wouldn't be this pretty red.
Well, hers was red, even though.
Did she use avocado?
Yeah.
Did she say?
I don't know. She didn't say. Actually.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, let's do it. I'm excited about this actually. And I'm prepared with the spatula this time.
So now we do the same thing, fill it in, tamp it down.
So you gotta be pretty committed to this dessert.
Right.
Or the thing is it's not that hard. You could make it in the morning. You could do you could make the base at night, then you could put the middle on in the morning, and then when you're gonna serve it.
But you want the top to be frozen.
The top has to be frozen.
You got the whole thing to be frozen, so when you cut it, it all stays together.
It's a thing.
Stays together in a slice.
Okay, and that's why we use the springform pan.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to smash that all down.
really a pretty color.
It's really pretty. Look at how pretty that is. So, but it's going to be really pretty when we cut it.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be really delicious.
I mean, it's got. I mean, how could it not be sugar and coconut oil?
Sugar and fat. The two major food groups.
We're gonna love it.
Okay.
That looks really nice.
Yeah, and I think if we make this again, if we love it, we should get a smaller springform pan to make it in.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's a little bit, I have a feeling that when it comes out, it's going to be it's not going to be as thick as it might be, and the layers aren't going to be as pronounced.
Yeah.
So I think a smaller springform pan would, we're going to get it's the same amount of stuff. It's just that they'd be bigger chunks. Thicker. And these are going to be like kind of, this is going to be, they say it's a tart, so that makes sense too, right?
Yeah, it's not supposed to be a cake.
Do you guys love how we take you through these recipes that we've never made before?
Yeah, I think that's pretty special.
It's adventure with Jake and Joy.
Yeah.
We take you on our adventure. Okay, so let's pop that back in the freezer, and we'll freeze that, and we'll be back later. Bye.
Okay, so now this is all nice and frozen. It looks so pretty. Show the color.
It looks really pretty.
Yeah.
I think if avocado would ruin it. I really think
brown, because green and red makes brown, right?
Right. I just think it would.
So
not
now
be
we're
as
gonna make
pretty
the
at all.
topping, the chocolate topping.
Yeah, and this is more coconut oil.
Yes.
So it's a half a cup of coconut oil.
Yeah.
And tell us a bit about coconut oil again. We looked up all this stuff.
Lowers cholesterol.
That's not going to work.
It boosts energy and some good fats.
Coconut oil is also really good to put on your hair.
Yeah.
And put on your skin.
Yeah.
And we take coconut oil as it's like a encapsulated thing.
Or it's like little
pellets.
Pellets, yeah.
And it's really, I don't know why it helps with immune function, but it does. And supposedly it's not the same, as eating coconut oil. It's not good to cook with coconut oil, though.
Right.
You shouldn't heat it up.
Right.
Because it's not, and a lot of people do that, and they think, it's coconut oil is good for you. Just like cooking with olive oil is not good either.
Right.
You really should just use it as broth or even butter. Like if you were going to use something, you want to use something that's not going to get, we don't use butter in this show, but
milk goes.
Milk goes. Yeah, I don't know about what that is in terms of the what's the word I'm looking for?
Okay, so this is how much of this?
This is a half a cup, I believe, of cacao. And cacao is full of antioxidants and polyphenols. And polyphenols are really interesting because our body, when we get polyphenols, it starts to produce more polyphenols. And the more polyphenols you have, the more better you are. The more better. But cacao, and this has also got fiber in it. And it's considered a superfood,
Cool.
And I like to get some of this in my diet as much as I can. It's not part of the G-bombs, but it's certainly good. And this dessert,
how much are you putting in?
A half a cup.
Oh, okay. That's a quarter cup. Okay.
Yeah, so that's two quarter cups is a half a cup.
Yes, I know. I didn't know.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I didn't know what you were doing exactly.
Yeah. Okay, and then we're going to do a quarter cup of the maple syrup. I believe that's right. I hope I have this recipe right, because I'm just going off. That's a half a cup.
I know.
Oh.
There's a
quarter
line in the
cup right
middle
here.
that tells you when it's half. I knew that was coming.
You knew that was coming?
I knew you were going to say, that's not
Okay, all right. Let's blend that up. Clean up our workstation.
I don't know if it's going to make enough to go cover that whole thing.
I know.
All right, so I want to scrape in the sides a little bit.
We're thinking that it looks really tiny compared to what we have to cover.
It doesn't look like very much, but we're just gonna.
That's what the recipe says. But you know what?
I want to.
One of the things is that
All right.
you have to discover how a recipe works for you. Altitude can make a difference. I mean, there's so many different
Size of the pan, all of it.
Right, but you thought that she was using the same size pan.
Similar, maybe it might have been a little bit smaller, but.
And I might have even done this in a food processor because it's too
hard to get it out.
It's really hard to get it out. So I'm losing as much up the sides as I am, You know what I mean, Jelly Bean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is not like a lot of...
So we might need to make some more.
You think so?
Yeah. If it's not going to cover it, we should make more. Because you want that.
If we're going to do that, we think we should do that as a special magic trick where we do it not
All of a
making...
sudden it's there.
Yes, not making our viewers suffer through
Okay.
us
We can do
having
that.
to do that.
Magic.
Our
Magic trick.
magic trick. Should we... Well, you know what? It might be enough.
Let me try it. Let me try it.
So here's what we've got so far. Do you guys love our experimental magic show? It's partly experiment, partly
they
educational.
appreciate it.
You think they appreciate
I think it feels like real life. Like, you know, like when you watch, sometimes when you watch cooking shows, it's like, oh, everything's so perfect. That's not us.
It's not?
We're like real life people making.
Okay, I
real
think I
life.
was doing a much better job of this. You're getting it everywhere. Give me that.
Sometimes you just get chocolate on your face.
Yeah, Derek.
Derek, you're getting this everywhere.
So are you? It's all over you.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Where?
It tastes really good all over your hand, your knuckles. It tastes good.
Does it?
It's really rich, dark, nice.
Well, what I like about it is that this is chocolate that's actually really good for you. This isn't like processed chocolate in a bar.
Right.
You know, this is, if you're gonna eat this, this is like the ideal way to have it. But
If we had a little bit more, it would be good, but we can make it work. Let's just make
Yeah.
it work with this.
Yeah. Let's just make it work. Now, one thing that we could do is we could put a little bit of liquid in it in the thing and mix it up.
It's going to be a little too soupy, I think.
Do you think so?
Yeah. We just need a tiny bit more. Dang it. It's close.
So now this has to freeze.
Yeah, so we'll freeze.
Now, if we had a typical blender, not a Vitamix, you could unscrew the bottom of it. So that would be that's probably how I would make this, is either in a, I would do it like in a, with beaters. You know what I mean? Something that you could get the whole thing out of it, or I would add more of all the ingredients. Yeah. So I think we should maybe make a little bit more.
Yum.
And just because it's not going to be as pretty if we don't finish
We're
it.
going to make some more and we'll be back.
We'll be back in a minute. Okay, we made a whole nother round of this, and you know what? This is a lot more than it was the first time.
I don't know what we did.
We did exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
That is completely bizarre. You put a half a cup of coconut oil in. This is way more than the first time. I do not understand it.
Well, let's have extra on there.
What did we do different?
I don't know.
This would have been enough for the whole thing, and I have no idea because you put a half a cup in.
Yep.
You didn't do anything different than I did. Dang it!
You put a quarter cup of syrup.
Quarter cup of syrup.
Bizarro.
Quarter cup of syrup. Half a cup of the coconut oil. Half a cup of the cacao. And
now it looks awesome. I think
looks-
having the extra on there is going to be great.
yeah, I do too. But I'm just wondering what the heck we did wrong. If you know what we did wrong, if you follow this and you know what we did wrong,
Like,
write
there it is.
We should videotape it and go back and check the tape.
Yeah.
Write it in the comments section below and let us know, because this is way more than it made the first time. First time it was like, there's not even any in here.
Yeah. Looks so good.
It looks really good.
Wait for it to freeze.
Now, if you want to make it look really good, I would take a paper towel and wipe around the edges so that well, I guess it's just going to come out of the pan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of the beauty of using one of these springform pans.
Yeah, it just pops
is that
out.
it pops out and then it's perfect. Yeah.
You lose all the mess.
That is really, really weird. That is so weird.
Okay, so now we're going to pop it back in the freezer, and then once it's frozen solid, we're going to eat it.
And we'll see you on the next episode.